Are we being bamboozled? Are we being lied to? Is there something coming around the corner we don't know about? Because President Trump talking about these 50-year mortgages and these 15-year car loans, and then now a stimulus check as well. It's like a trifecta that we're starting to question things about what's actually going on. Now, the stock market is continuing to rebound and spur higher, but we always got to keep, as I like to say on my channel, our head on a swivel, because as citizens, American citizens, and those that are not even financially literate or financially up to date, you're starting to question things. Is this making sense, right? So why are assets continuing to go up? Inflation's high. And then we have these quote unquote helpful things that are coming in to the markets right now, right? So let's talk about it really quickly. This is unbiased, unpolitical. So if you have a left, right, in between opinion, love to hear it down below in the comments. This is an open space to let me know and let us know what is this? What's going on here? All right. So let's jump into it today, give you an update about what is being said out of the White House. All right. So the first thing was recently, okay, the White House, as he continues to work hard to make the American dream accessible for everyone, President Trump today has asked the Department of Transportation and Commerce to make vehicle ownership for all a reality by introducing, now all this is still up in the air, right? But still this idea of even talks of this is wild. 15-year car loans. 15-year car loans, okay? What's the interest rate on this? Like, are the car prices going to come down? What's I'm confused here. Okay. Delivering for America. This is literally coming out of the White House. This is wild. Okay. So that's number one. All right. The next thing is we got this 50-year mortgage as well. That's kind of being talked about. Right now, to have these statements, right. And here's a perfect example here. President Trump's 50-year mortgage explained, okay, $500,000 house, just say you have a 3% interest rate, 2021, that's a $2,100 payment on a 30-year mortgage, total interest payments, roughly $250,000. Now, in 2025, if you have this to go through, because it's not actually put through and into the House, Senate, approved, signed off, all those types of things, but now we have a 7% interest rate, pending you have decent credit, a $3,000 mortgage payment, and then you have interest payments of over $1 million. You will never own. You will never have an asset. You are just paying this to the government. And in my opinion, right, we are in trillions of debt, right? I believe, let's see the debt clock and where it is right now. Okay. Real-time debt clock. I've never seen this before. Let's see. Okay. 38 trillion. There we go. So $38 trillion that the United States is in debt, and we are now pressing that debt, as we already know, onto more American citizens with these potential ideas, okay? Now we've got a $2,000 stimulus, okay? We know what happened the first time stimulus, and I want to be mindful that anyone that is open to this, like, man, okay, thank you, like, pay me, like, be mindful, like, what the repercussions are after that, okay? Because what happened the first time with your $1,200, $1,500, if you had a family, over $2,000 stimulus check back in 2020, what were the repercussions of that? We had a 2022 bear market, and then now we have higher inflation. So you're stimulating the market with fake or printed money, right, back to the American citizen. Now, I understand if you're here and you're listening and like, well, Brian, we don't know what it is yet. And you don't know anything. And what if it's just a tax cutback and it's not actually a check? All of these things are up in the air. But what we need to be paying attention to is understand, okay, how do we become more intelligent? How do we, actually react to this if these things happen? Because no one has control over if they put a 15-year car loan. No one has a control if they put a 50-year mortgage. No one has control if they, essentially say, hey, here's your money, take it. Right? So what do you do with it? You have to figure out a way how to say, okay, I just got $2,000. I got bills. I'm down or whatever. You got excess and you get $2,000 and you go blow it or do whatever. Now's the time to say, okay, if assets have gone up since the last time they gave a stimulus check, how do we actually make this grow if I do get something? Okay. This is all a if. This is up in the air. So this video is simply to bring people into awareness, because for those that are watching, like, Brian already knew all these things. Yeah. There are people out there that have no idea. They're questioning it. They're sitting at home typing this, like, what is this? Is this a good thing? Like, man, I can own a car. Like, maybe he's trying to help us out. right? Like there's questions up in the air around all these things. Okay. The final thing I want to show you before we get out of here is the S&P 500 and what we mean by assets going up. Okay. This is the S&P 500. Okay. And there is the April dip. All right. And as the S&P 500 has gone up and assets have increased in value, if you own a home, if you own any type of asset, now Pokemon cards and trading cards and anything of quote unquote value to the US citizen, right? All those things have quote unquote gone up, including stocks, right? So as things in the United States for the average American has gotten worse, right? Assets have gone up and gotten more pricey, more expensive. So that separation of the wealth gap has gotten even more because the person's like, man, I want to buy some stocks, but I don't have the money to. And yet the person that has been buying forever or owning assets because they either knew how to do so, right? There are people that don't understand, right? They don't know. There's a person that has extra $1,000 a month for the last 20 years, last 15 years, last 10 years, whatever it is, 5 years. And they're like, oh man, it's time to go out. It's time to party. It's time to do this and that. I've been guilty of that. Everyone has. But they had the money to buy something asset wise, especially in the stock market that is digital. Okay. So we see that going up. Now, my concern, like I said, I was going to end this off, is as we go up in this channel towards the end of the year, anytime we're in this hyperbolic channel here and we just continue to trend and trend and trend and trend, sooner or later the bubble and the crack is going to come through, right? Sooner or later at some point they're going to drive prices up to where they want to take profit. And I'm not here to predict where it's going to be. I'm just saying that it happens at any point. So until it does, this is not turning around anytime soon, right? There's 700 right at this white line. So what I'm saying is if we are questioning things in the United States, more specifically, and also in the world, but yet assets are going up, what happens when the quote unquote truth comes out? What happens when things, actually do show that jobs are down, which are already showing? What happens if inflation rate? What happens if we cut rates too aggressively? What happens if we have to have a rate hike, right? There's going to be a crack, a bigger crack. Something like that. Okay. So I wanted to put this in awareness because why would you say this when everything is doing fine in the stock market? And why would you fear monger and put that out there? It's because wouldn't you want to know to be prepared of, man, if assets do come down, am I prepared for that? Right? If I do get a 2022 bear market, if I do get another type of tariff crash, right? If I get one of those situations, am I prepared for it? Do I get another COVID right here? Right? It happens periodically. There's COVID, there's 2022 bear market, there's a little bit of a snag in the fall of 2023, then we go on a bull run, and then there's tariffs. Something else will happen yet again, and we don't know how massive it is. Is it going to do this or right here? But until said so, I just want to put this out there that when those cracks unleash, assets will pull down at a price where guess who's going to pick it up? The billionaires, anyone who's prepared, anyone who's like, okay, I have a 2027 plan. I have whenever it happens. Cool. Until then, I'm going to continue to ride the highs. All right. So that is the purpose of this video that I wanted to put out, is an update on what is actually going on, right? With the stimulus, the 50-year mortgage, and also this idea of a 15-year car loan. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Right? We're not predicting a crash. We're not saying anything's going to happen. We're just going to be prepared if so, because every day something comes up, right? Every day something's happening. All right. Thank y'all so much for the support on the channel. Let me know how I could support you anymore. Leverage University down below, our Discord, any other links that you'd like to support the channel on down below. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.